Operations Squadron pays special tribute to Master Sergeant Darryl Holt upon the occasion of his retirement after 24 years of dedicated service to his country and the United States Air Force. Presiding over today's ceremony is Director of Operations, 4th Air Support Operations Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel James McGlone. We are honored to have in attendance Ms. Rosemary Holt, wife of Sergeant Holt, and their children Thomas, Ashton, and Leilani. To all military friends and co-workers in attendance today, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the arrival of the official retirement party and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by Leilani Holt.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we fought, were so gallantly streaming in the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Leilani. That was very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Please welcome Director of Operations, 4th Air Support Operations Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel James McGlone.
I'll just speak up. Camp Post is on. Distinguished visitors, Colonel Mass, Colonel Barry, Warhawks, Rose, Tommy, Ashley, Leilani, welcome. Welcome to this special occasion, special ceremony to celebrate the career of Master Sergeant Darryl Holt. Can't do justice to a distinguished 24-year career in my brief remarks that I can do here, but what I can try to do is outline you just a little bit of the highlights of that career and a little bit of the experiences that this family's had to go through in their Air Force time. Way back into the mid to late 1980s, a young airman got a great assignment for a young single guy straight to Yokota, Japan. Assigned to Yokota, Sergeant Holt installed and maintained radio systems on the base there, and generally, it seemed to me, reading the reports, enjoyed the good life there in Japan for a while. But then, as happens to all of us, he gets a little more mature, a little more responsibility, and as a senior airman, he grew to these greater responsibilities and was moved to Bowling Air Force Base in D.C. And there he managed the base level land mobile radio system and also all the frequency management issues there, which were big jobs for a young senior airman. Probably even more significant, though, is that this is where he met Rose while assigned in the D.C. area. And true to form, right after this, the Air Force decides it's time to send him for a remote assignment to the Philippines. However, while he was still in training en route to the Philippines, Mount Pinatubo got a vote and decided that Sergeant Holt would get to stay in Maryland. So he was actually redirected and reassigned to Andrews Air Force Base. And also, as a new sergeant, and back then we had buck sergeants in the Air Force, brand new Buck Sergeant, Holt, was moved over to Andrews, and he had bigger responsibilities. He was maintainer of the ground-air radio systems that were relied upon by the presidential and special air mission squadrons at Andrews. So a big job for a young Buck Sergeant to have in the Air Force. He grew there for many years. I think the family had a long time there at Andrews. Promotions, instructional duties, increased supervisory responsibilities, and he also began to join the ranks of the Expeditionary Air Force, like so many of us at that time, and did his first Operation Southern Watch deployment while at Andrews. Also, most significantly while he was at Andrews, the family grew with the birth of Tommy and Ashley there in Maryland. And then most memorable for all of us, and I'm sure for the Holts as well, were the events of 9/11. So it's kind of significant to point out that this family was stationed right in the middle of the battleground that morning on 9/11 at Andrews Air Force Base. In fact, in this case, Sergeant Holt was serving as a security forces augmentee there on the base the day that happened. And as I understand it, he spent the rest of the entire night on guard mount the full battle rattle, which must have been a significant emotional event for everyone, as it was for all of us. Finally, in 2003, the Air Force finally got back around to giving him a hardship assignment overseas, and sure enough, the hardship ended up being in Hawaii. He sent him to the 25th ASOS. He was promoted to Tech Sergeant, and I was in the 25th ASOS with the TAC P guys as a radio maintainer and a supervisor there. The family also grew in Hawaii, where Leilani was born. I think that's probably where she got her beautiful name, and being born in Hawaii. And it was during this period that he deployed to Enduring Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, for 6 months, over 6 months. And so the family, like so many of us, began to feel even more of the effects of 9/11 and having to deploy there. Sergeant Holt served well in the 25th ASOS. This garnered him his next promotion from Tech Sergeant to Master Sergeant, and assignment here to Manheim. So 2 TAC P assignments in a row for him and his family. This, of course, led to more responsibility for him. Another long deployment in support of OIF from 2008 to 2009. Those Con and the guys. And then I come into the picture here towards the end. Got to know him. It's been my pleasure to get to know him, to get to know his family. From my perspective, he's done great things just in this last year. He's helped us to install and establish a lot of the long-range comm network things that we're going to use for years to come over here in Europe. So you have a little bit of a legacy there that you leave behind. And then also, I had a little side benefit of getting a chance to coach a tremendous young athlete, Tommy, on the high school track team. So I think he's got great potential there too. Very proud. Throughout all of this, Sergeant Holt has steadfastly performed his duty to his country, and it's for that reason that we celebrate his great career and his retirement today in the ceremony. Thank you, Master Sergeant Holt, for your service to your country from the bottom of my heart, and thanks to all of you for joining us today.
We also have a special request for today's ceremony. Master Sergeant Holt's former commander, 25th Air Support Operations Squadron, Colonel Kevin Cole, could not make it to today's event. He asked that his remarks be read during the ceremony. Aloha and greetings from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I had the honor of serving with Sergeant Holt from 2004 to 2005 while we were in the 25th ASOS at Wheeler Army Airfield, Hawaii. Darryl led the squadron's maintenance and support element, the duties of which many of you know are very complex and demanding, especially when our unit was conducting operations in both Iraq and Afghanistan. What struck me at first about Darryl was his positive yet calm demeanor, his dedication to his people, and superior state of the squadron's equipment. However, later on, Sergeant Holt demonstrated something else that greatly impressed me, namely his insistence that maintainers go out and learn how the operations part of the squadron conducts its affairs in the field. He stressed that in order to better support operations, that people had to understand their finer points. Basically, if the support flight would better know the how and why behind operations, they would possess a greater understanding towards the vital part they play in the overall ASOS mission. Later, when we deployed to Operation Enduring Freedom, Darryl's leadership shone even brighter. Our unit was spread all over Afghanistan, and he had to incorporate elements from other squadrons, as well as Guard and Reserve units. The maintenance record he achieved was unparalleled. Every vehicle, every piece of comm gear, and every unit supply element was in superior form despite the harsh conditions. He was always going to the remote sites to ensure the equipment was up to speed. However, he also empowered his people to do the same. His leadership, by example, inspired the maintainers to get dirty and make certain that the operators had everything they needed. One time I traveled from headquarters at Bagram to Kandahar to see operations down there. We had some new radios come in, and Darryl's team had to figure out how to retrofit the Humvees with the new equipment. He and his folks figured out a way to remove the old comm gear and to efficiently stack the new radios. But what was most impressive is that Darryl had documented the procedures so others could easily duplicate his actions. When he showed me the new setup, I asked where he had got the cushion mounts for the new radios. He said, "Oh, I just cut up some rubber padding from the same old cargo crates and then got some foam rings and glued them together." I asked where he got the rings. He replied in a matter-of-fact manner, "Oh, those are from the 40mm grenade rounds the Army uses at the shooting range." His willingness to innovate and to teach his folks to innovate greatly enhanced our overall capability. Our success in Afghanistan is due directly to Darryl's ability and willingness to take risks and make things happen. It breaks my heart that I cannot attend today's ceremony. My spirit is there, but my body cannot be. Master Sergeant Darryl Holt is the epitome of what an NCO should be, and more importantly, he is everything a friend should be. I know he will succeed in his next endeavor, and I wish him well. God bless you, Darryl, and your family. Thank you for your friendship, support, and willingness to go the extra mile. Signed, Kevin J. Cole, Colonel, United States Air Force, STRATCOM Liaison Officer, PACOM. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand.